Miło, że nas odwiedzasz.
We're checking the live stream.
Okay. Sorry.
When it starts.
Good afternoon and welcome to the panel fair discussion that's hosted here at the SKN Fair. Today with us we have Dr. Antoszewska. She is the advisor to the STN student body, and she is also a doctor in the field of dermatology and a young researcher who we love and adore. And Dr. Daniel Duszewski, who is a machine learning researcher at the Gdansk University of Technology. He is the lab leader at the Camera and Algorithms Lab, and a very good speaker in the field of AI. So thank you for joining us here today.
Hello, everyone.
So initially, if you can just talk about yourself, what you're doing these days, and your projects, etc.
Okay, so I guess I will start. So, like you said, I'm a dermatology resident and PhD student as well, and my field of interest is chronic wounds. So I had a chance to observe what kind of problems we face in the healthcare system and how chronic wounds can or are already a burden in the healthcare system, and why I think AI may help us reduce those costs and help in many fields, which I hope I will have a chance to talk about today.
Hi. So thank you very much for inviting us. It's a great pleasure to speak with you guys. So my name is Daniel, and I study how we can leverage different sorts of data from different modalities and from different labeling sources into machine learning concepts, so that they can try to behave as humans in doing different things. And so as we are here at the Medical University of Gdańsk, part of our research at our lab focuses on developing the algorithms that can improve diagnosis and help doctors in treating patients better, faster, and at larger scale. No, we will not get rid of doctors. Don't worry, you will find a job.
Thank you so much. So the topic for today that we have invited you guys for is the role of AI and virtual reality in the space of health sciences and healthcare. And obviously this is a very hot topic and a very difficult one to discuss because there's very polar ideas. So hopefully we get a sort of interaction between the two. Please feel free to ask them any questions. Please feel free to ask our students any questions that you might have. Yeah. So I think with that, let's kick it off and get into our first question. Since you're having Dr. Chesky, maybe you can enlighten us on how do you think that AI and virtual reality can be leveraged to improve patient care and healthcare outcomes in our sector?
Yes. Thanks for the question. It's challenging. So I would like to ask you the question whether you are open to use virtual reality headsets in medical care and rely on algorithms that you have not validated yourselves. Would you be willing to use such tools in your day-to-day practice? Yes?
Maybe that you incorporate them in the learning aspects rather than just apply them directly to cases in our clinics.
That's a perfect idea. I had this idea 2 years ago when I was 40 years old, and I was very proud of myself that I had this idea. So nice one. Yes. Because we are working on some project in dentistry, and we realized that it's going to be really good if we can actually start off with the AI at the medical universities, where students actually are open-minded and want to learn new things, new technologies, and this is actually very, very good access point for the AI, and a very good place for doing the knowledge transfer. So, coming back to the question, there are lots of opportunities for using the virtual reality and the associated devices that are augmented with AI. Yes, and for example, in training, like when you want to train a surgeon, which is a very hard thing to do. It would be very convenient to develop a system that can teach the surgeon all the edge cases in the VR room, and also, there is this trend now of digital twins, right? You want to digitize everything, buildings, cars, trains, infrastructures. There is this company called Synthesia that is producing the avatars. So they want to also digitize humans and the fake humans, and it's a very interesting avenue to explore, especially since now some companies like Nvidia and Facebook are investing in these multiverse, omniverse digital worlds where people can interact um, in a less constrained ways in some aspects. So I think that there is a great potential for AI and virtual reality in medical healthcare.
So I guess,
Yeah, now I'm thinking what can I add, but like you started that, it's really to implement AI in our training, not only as students, but further as residents as well. I think it's really good to train like your surgery skills while having your VR books. And I think it's easier to learn while you see what you're doing, not only reading that. So I think it gives us a lot of possibilities. And also what I'm thinking, but I know that I'm quite, I'm trying not to be like only positive about that, but I'm pretty positive. So I'm also thinking that VR can enable us like really good networking with other specialists and just to have these specialized meetings where we just can gather remotely and discuss the cases. That's what just came to my mind. But yeah, I'm really optimistic about that in the field of studying learning, but yeah, the question is, should we implement AI in the medicine? That's a good question, I guess.
just to follow up on that, Dr. Antoshevska, do you think that you have personally seen or have come across any ways that AI has benefited or has improved outcomes in the field of dermatology at least?
What I observe is like really happening that we really want to implement AI in dermatology. And what I mainly observe is my friends who are starting research in using AI. At least two of my colleagues in the clinic, they have their topics in doctoral school connected with AI itself. And also, while being in Denmark, I've noticed they are working on some applications, but it's all about collecting data. So I'm not talking about using AI in dermatology. I cannot say that I'm using it myself, but what I'm observing is that we work really hard to use it in the future. And for example, as I mentioned, I work with chronic wounds and I collaborate with company who assess wounds who use AI to recognize whether it's granulation or necrotic tissue, and they aim to in the future to help taking important decision or even making objective assessment of wound and to reduce costs, because nowadays we are like overwhelmed with a number of patients and all the procedures we have to do, and most of patients they cannot even visit the outpatient clinic. So what I see and what I know that we are trying to aim to is to help people using AI, using applications to start diagnosing themselves, to start using applications which would enable to contact doctors only for consultation and to make important treatment decisions based on the assessment of AI. So there are plenty of different ideas, and it's really hot topic. So if you want to start any kind of research, it's like COVID topic. It's like whenever you choose ChatGPT in the title of your research paper, you're like more, more than sure that it will be accepted. So it's like the best time for publishing that kind of papers because everyone wants to read about ChatGPT. Even my friend, he just mentioned that today in the morning meeting that they had just accepted his paper on dermatology questions which patients can ask on ChatGPT. And I think it's really interesting. For me, it's also interesting. But this is what I'm seeing now. But so maybe we are not there yet, but it's like it's happening.
And the same question to you, Dr. Ushevsky. Is there personally, like in your micro, in your camera and algorithms lab, have you seen any improvements, or do you predict any improvements that might follow in patient outcomes in terms of AI and virtual reality?
Yes. So that's the whole goal of AI, right? That we want to improve the medical care with the help of the algorithms. These algorithms they are not smart. Yes, it's very important to realize that it has nothing to do with any sort of intelligence. Yes, it's a computing machine, and the main advantage of this machine over the humans is that it can store way more data than we can in our brains, and we can process that data much more efficiently than we can. Yes, so it's like comparing our legs with, or comparing horses with the mechanical horses. Yes, so that's so the idea is to actually use these tools to help people work better, live better. And it's a great opportunity for us, for all of us, to improve ourselves and the lives of others. And I think that it's really risky now to question whether it will be admitted. It is already admitted to the medical care and to many more sciences and industrial applications. So now the question is how actually we can leverage it efficiently. We should not be scared of it because they're just pure algorithms here. There is no thinking. It is just it pretends to think. Yes. But someday maybe it will make a better impression of pretending to think. Of course, there are risks associated with that, but this is another topic. So it's a great opportunity, and we have to actually really reorganize ourselves and think how we can adopt this technology and develop this technology as fast as possible, because I think it is going to work. The probability that it is going to work is much higher than it will not work. So yes, so there are a lot of premises that it actually is the direction, yes, for all of us. Yes.
Thank you. So just following your line of thought, and also Dr. Antoszewska, Dr. Antoszewska brought up the costs related to AI and virtual reality, and as you're working on this and working on algorithms, etc., what challenges or risks have you incurred personally, or do you think the industry faces integrating AI and virtual reality into the health sciences field?
You mean, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so Dr. Antoszewska brought up costs, for example.
What costs?
Costs with integrating AI or bringing AI into the health sciences.
But like health costs, money or energy costs, what
So maybe Dr. Antoszewska can expand.
I've just started talking about possible ways of reducing costs if we implement AI. But I'm not sure if you are you asking about that?
Yeah. So
Okay, so how can you, I guess.
You mean healthcare costs?
yes.
Yes.
So any other like benefits or risks or challenges that it faces entering into the health sciences industry?
Yes. Well, these are the algorithms. So the main purpose of these algorithms is to automate as much as they can. Yes. So now, if since everybody knows that this is the goal of the algorithms, everybody can ask, okay, so what is my role in this future ecosystem?
More or less, you are saying that you want to improve factors to reduce costs.
Yes. So this is not what I want to say, but since this is going in the direction of automating as much as possible, well, like I don't know, 1 week ago in the London summit, AI summit, Elon Musk said that all the jobs will be automated some years from now. Yes, fine, okay. But I don't think that. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to actually. It's hard to say that it will not be like that. Yes, of course, we would like it not be like that. That we are actually deprived of our jobs because this is sort of also the sense of our lives. And we are here you are here studying so hard at the university to actually help people, yes? And this is also pretty much the sense of your lives. And now thinking of some algorithm that can actually eliminate you from this process is very scary. But it is not certain that it will not be like that. So following the line of thought of Elon Musk, yes? I mean, it's hard to say that it will not be like that. If these algorithms will work so good that they will make much less mistakes than the human doctors, and over and over again they will show that they can diagnose patients better. Humans might expect to be treated by the algorithms instead of humans. You want to add something?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I think this is the point.
yeah, I'm asking what about surgeries, right? So what kind of thoughts I have is that finishing our studies and starting our being real doctor job, it's like we are overwhelmed with all the tasks we have to do, and sometimes I'm not saying that whenever we start we are taking the serious treatment decisions, but of course our job is mainly about that. So sometimes we have to think about so many things and searching so many sources, and it takes time, and you are so tired while doing all these things that when it gets to actual treatment point, you are so exhausted that you can't even think about treating the patient. So what I think the AI how it may help us or how we could benefit as doctors is that here's AI at the beginning of the path, and then we can still rely on AI, and then here are doctors. So what I think is that AI would be like helping to search patients who really need our consultations. Like, you know, patients sometimes they go to a patient clinic when they even shouldn't be there. So it's like, if AI help at that point, that's perfect because we can focus on really patients with diseases. And then while treating these patients with actual diseases, we as doctors, we have to search, to double check if we remember correctly, or check the dose or dosage, or check just we also make some algorithms, right? So it's like we have guidelines, we have documents, so it's we also kind of learn. So yeah, if AI would help us in this diagnostic process, that would be perfect because finally we we could start focusing on patients. I'm not saying that I'm not focusing on patients, but you know, I'm just human and I'm just tired. So AI is like the algorithms; they don't get tired. So I think it's a good point for a really fruitful cooperation and collaboration.
What what if the algorithms start to diagnose? And um, let's yeah, it's like let's take an example of dermatology. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready for that?
I'm ready.
And it will be shown over the years through some, cloud-attached system, so that everybody can see that and monitor it, because these endpoints will be connected to the cloud for free access. Let's imagine it to work like that for AI validation purposes. And repeatedly over several years on human acknowledged benchmarks, AI will greatly outperform humans. What will happen?
You mean that they always have the right diagnostics?
Not the right, but repeatedly better with a significant margin.
The doctors, right?
Yes.
I mean, you know, it's not a secret that dermatologists, they only prescribe steroids, right? So it's like, so you know that we know only one drug, and all dermatology is based on one drug, which is steroids, right? But even everyone knows how to treat every skin condition, right? Because this is what we are thinking. Uh, we are still full of patients in outpatient in the world. So what I think, even they have the greatest diagnosis, then patients would prefer to visit dermatologists just to double check, make sure. Because I think that, I mean, like I said at the beginning, I'm really positive about AI, and I think that we will, and I think we should collaborate together. So if AI would suggest at least differential diagnosis, which we could rely on, or start our diagnostic treatment, that's perfect, because this is what we seek for. So I think it's a really good start for collaboration with this machine. Yeah.
That's okay. So I have.
Because it already has happened. I mean, AI is outperforming us in some specifics, in some specific So AI is already outperforming us in some specific situations. For instance, we have this device which is called GI Genius, which is kind of add-on to endoscopy units, right? To endoscopy towers, which has built-in AIs, and it increases the detection of adenomas in the colon greatly, like by twofold in comparison to a good endoscopy. But it is very unknown at the moment whether it improves survival of the patient. So medicine, like in the end, it's humanities science, right? We are treating people and we want to help people. So at the end of the day, we want to think whether different applications of AI that we will use in different scenarios will actually help people or will it not? It's just another device that we're using, just another technology we're using. It's just a little better regression than we had before, to be honest. And it's not the case that we always have to use it or that it will be always efficient to improve healthcare with the person at the end of the day in our minds. But it already is outperforming us by far.
Yeah, I guess, like you said, it's just happening because in dermatology we have this photo finder machine, which we are using for mapping of skin, and by taking year after year pictures of skin and our moles, machine based on machine learning is suggesting us which moles we should get rid of, we should remove. But what's happening is that the algorithms are pointing like 3 or 4 moles which should be removed. But we are assessing and we are like, no, we are still way more experienced, so we know that we can wait a little bit longer. But it's just happening. It's one more tool, one more device which we can use for a diagnostic process. And I think, like you mentioned, it's like we are gonna collaborate with that and base our further treatment decisions. So it's good to have really well-trained tools in the future.
Thank you for that. It's very clear that you have a very positive outlook on AI and the integration of virtual reality in education. But is there any aspect of it where you don't see it in a positive light? Is there any aspect of AI and virtual reality that perhaps might scare you of integrating, or any risks you might associate with it?
And you do want to start with your greatest fears?
No. Well, I can start with my greatest fears, but we go first.
Okay, so I'm quite positive, and I know that I'm very optimistic, and I sometimes wear these pink glasses. But what I can see is a lot of possibilities AI can give us for developing applications, and this is what I'm focusing on. But about any fears, of course, in I know that there are those fears that machines will treat patients, and there will be no more need for some specialization, because what for if maybe only surgery would be not that easy to I'm losing the word, replace, thank you. And of course, what we should be a little bit of scared of is that machines may be making mistakes, because they are only trained machines. So in case of chronic ones, they can recognize poorly the condition. So if we rely only on these decisions, we can make mistakes. And we as doctors, we are still responsible for our decisions. So it's not that we can only be 100% sure that if it's like machine, it never makes any mistakes.
Yes. So I would like to first make a division between a predictive AI and generative AI. So now we are so excited about AI because we are experiencing what actually is generative AI. Elon Musk tried to integrate predictive AI into our societies through the autonomous driving. Yes, the system has to predict, tell what is happening in the image, and react accordingly. Yes, so this is predictive AI. Like when you would like to automate a surgeon, yes, it is also predictive AI. Um, and and I would never say that this will never happen. Yes, probably, and like Intuitive Surgical, this is the name of the company. They, I
It's
think,
already been tested. I mean, there were surgeries done which were driven by AI.
yes, already. Yes. Once, I think like 5 years ago, I wrote a paper on predicting where the surgical tools or robotic instruments are in the image. And I also shortly referred to this level 5 autonomous surgical agents that some other publication in Nature claimed to be speculation science fiction. That was 5 years ago, okay? And now, as you said, yes, it goes crazy fast. Yes, it's amazing. So yes, so I'm actually not so much scared of predictive AI, but I'm quite scared about generative AI. And the thing that it can eventually write its own code for itself, generate the code to improve itself, and replace the programmers. Yes, so including me. I mean, why not? This, I think if this will be possible, it will happen. Yes, I don't think that somebody will stop it as long as it will be safe. Yes? So I'm quite scared about generative AI. And cloud AI as well. Like, you know, you can put your data into the cloud, then the algorithms could reprogram themselves there, act autonomously, communicate between them, not between us and them, but only between them, and I don't know, generate some stupid code, yes? And rewrite the programs again and do different strange things. Yes? So generative AI is quite scary. I don't know if this is the correct attitude, but it's scary. And of course, we have to think about all these you know, it's evident that the technological progress is superseding greatly the sociological progress, right? So we are not sort of ready to adopt the technology, yes, because we might do stupid things with it, right? So this scared me as well, and how this will be used in the wars of the future. Maybe in the future, like right now, we are. I don't know if this is off topic. I will just finish it with 2 sentences because we are talking about AI fears now. But you know, like now, if you want to, you know, win the war, you have to gain control in the air. Yes, maybe in the nearest future, to win the war, you have to go to the outer space. Yes, so even higher to win the war. Actually, this is already happening a little bit. Yes, the satellites are controlling the warfield, and maybe then it will be shifted back again down to Earth, where AI will be fighting war with each other. Yeah, with AI engines. I don't know what we will do then. I don't know. I don't see us there, but yes.
Thank you. We have a few questions, so we're just going to take these.
I just had one question, as probably we will be using AI in the future, and I just wanted to ask like the ethical implications on mistake diagnosis or mistake that actually the AI makes in the surgery or something like that. How is it going to affect us? Because till now we just follow guidelines and things like that, but AI in a lot of places, of course, isn't in guidelines as yet. But how is that going to impact us doctors while we use it if there's any mistakes or anything?
That's a really good question, but that's why I think that we will only use tools based on AI, not only rely on AI 100%, because who will take responsibility for that? I mean, probably in the future, if we have those apps there are some apps which you can use to, let's say, diagnose yourself or just to ask around some questions and check whether you have this disease or not. But you're doing that on your own responsibility. So I guess if you decide to rely on AI apps and AI doctors, then you will be responsible for that, not anyone else. That's my thought. But that's why I think that there's no chance for not being consulted by doctors anyway. We will use these tools, but the responsibility of the treatment or diagnostic procedures, we will be responsible for that because this is our jobs.
Okay, so if we are heading into the digital twin direction, then why only digitize the patients? Well, let's digitize the doctors, and let's train a neural network that is doctor specific, and the neural network would learn how that person would diagnose specific patients, and pretend it would be that doctor. And then if there is another new patient that would like to be diagnosed, he could ask for, I don't know, for some money to be diagnosed by, let's say, 30 digital doctors, like immediately in 1 minute. Like ChatGPT works right now, yes? You get the answer in, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds, right? And
so just to follow up on that.
so, yes, so this is down the question whether, because, I mean, that could be done right now. If people could just agree on that, it could be done right now.
People wouldn't have to agree as well, because it's going to be only a console that you can use generative AI to create a deep fake of you speaking or me speaking or whomever speaking. So maybe it's happening at the moment. And we just
Maybe they are already building that, exactly. Yes, exactly.
But it's thanks God, it's illegal.
Yes, so now the governments have a really hard time because they have to think of ways to regulate it so that it doesn't get messy, maybe too transformative, too fast. And on the other hand, there's this debate we all know about it, that they cannot regulate too much to hinder progress, yes? So that smaller AI companies would not be able to make it to the market with their products to the market. Yes? So they are struggling to find the right balance.
But just to follow up on that, do you think that the government is holding these companies accountable to the ethical part of it? Or do you think there's enough work being done to hold AI accountable in terms of the ethics in our society?
I think that they want to hold them accountable to the ethics part, and I think that the 6 major AI companies, like that actually lead this large language model race, including OpenAI, Amazon, Google, Anthropic, and some other few companies. they have released their memento or something like that, their research statement or ethics statement. Uh, what will they do to comply with the government rules? But I haven't read it yet because they released it two weeks ago, and it's a lot of text. So maybe I'll put it into ChatGPT and ask it to summarize it for me.
Would you like something to add?
I can agree that it should be regulated. That's all.
All right. So we just have a few more questions. If you guys are still open to that.
I actually have a question also related to ethics, but it's more in terms of cybersecurity. If we keep basically to train this AI, we would have to keep adding the patient data onto the system. And how secure is it currently? And do you think that it still needs work?
I think it's one of the challenges which AI brings, because I can observe how it's difficult for hospitals to have even platform for collecting pictures of patients, because apparently there are no safe enough apps for that or platforms. So I think that collecting all this data, it's quite challenging.
Yes, I fully agree with what you said. So actually, I have no idea how safe it is in the end, because I am quite confused by the articles that I read in the internet. So, and from what I hear. So, basically the companies want convince us that cloud is safe. Yes. Cloud AI is safe. You just transfer the data, I don't know, from the hospital or any clinic to the cloud. The algorithms work there, do their job, and you get the answer, right? Now, and so this is what the AI companies say, some of them at least. Cloud companies that do not do AI say, oh yes, cloud is super safe. Yes, they are doing the cloud technology, so it's super safe. So they will say things like that. I have never met any cloud businessman that would say otherwise. And on the other hand, on the internet, I read that from time to time there is this attack on the hospital, that the data are actually stolen, or the whole hospital is down, and they have to run some backup system. Like this happened in Singapore. Yes, so Singapore, like I don't know, 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, and like Singapore is regarded as one of the most advanced technological hubs in the world, right? So it's quite funny, okay? The more we'll make it digital, I don't know, maybe the harder it will be to make it safer. I have no idea. I just have two contradicting observations, and I have never done any cloud programming, so I cannot say. But since the companies say that cloud is safe, maybe it is. Maybe it's not only for the business purposes. Maybe it is because they know what they are saying. But I don't know.
We just have another follow-up.
Yes. From my very limited knowledge of both AI and medicine, I feel like in a very generalized way, the only upper hand that human doctors probably have over AI would be two things. One would be, let's call it the human touch, the year that I'm in, we focus a lot on patient care, talking to patients and communication and all of that stuff. So we're taught to listen to the patient and be compassionate, be patient, be attentive, all of that. And the second would be a doctor's ability to personalize medicine for their patient in a way that 100 people might suffer from a disease, but everybody reacts differently with different drugs and with different circumstances, and everybody has different reactions to maybe the same thing. Do you think that AI would ever catch up in these two aspects of medicine?
Yes. So the first thing is again to simulate a human being, right? And so right now, I think there are billions of dollars being invested in that kind of technology. So that it's even called emo AI, emotional AI. Yes. So and there are lots of thousands of papers every year published on this aspect. So that actually an AI engine, and in 10 years from now, it will look like a human. Yes, it will look perfect. These deep fakes, right? And they will be talking to us with seemingly full understanding of our emotions. They will be looking how we behave. They will be able to analyze all the micro movements on our faces. So they will be probably even be better at diagnosing our emotional state and being more reactive than humans, maybe, right? And so I think this will be done. And the second thing is about this. The question is about variability or edge cases. Rather, it's more focused on edge cases or variability.
I would maybe say variability because
Variability.
yeah, at the end of the day, AI is an algorithm, and
Yes.
it's maybe better at repeatedly doing the same thing. But when there are very minute differences in something that looks very similar from the top, how would it work out?
Yes, so maybe, like, maybe the solution is that 99% of the cases will be handled by AI, and that the 1% of edge cases will be handled still by humans, because, and, there is this one aspect that the world is changing, right? And since humans evolve, our health evolves, it's quite hard to catch up with that. And maybe, and I mean that it's hard to retrain, currently it's hard to retrain the models like every hour or every day, every month, because it's very costly. But whether retraining the models every month is enough to compensate for the change, I don't know, because I don't know how the things actually change. I don't think that they change so fast. Yes, so, but yes.
So keep in mind that whenever we are talking about AI or machine learning, we are talking about analyzing not hundreds but thousands of cases of thousands of different data. So it's not that easy to train. In my opinion, it's still like AI will still provide us with a lot of differential diagnoses, which we as doctors may not think about, because still this trained AI would be more experienced while analyzing that many cases, that many different symptoms. So I think it's still be beneficial for us. It's like every patient is different, but as a doctor, I don't always know what to do. So
Just that one more.
I had a different question, but just to follow up on what you were saying, what you were asked before, there is, as a doctor, there is also the reading in between the lines. The patient is not always honest, not sometimes not because they're lying, but sometimes because they just don't know, right? So do you think that AI will get to that level of understanding that when you ask the patient something and they answer you something different, it really means this, as sometimes the doctors has to do?
I guess not every doctor can read between the lines. Not every doctor, I mean, it depends, but I think that if you rely on AI, then of course it wouldn't read between the lines, but it would treat patients anyway. And if patients feel that, okay, I want to not be honest, then, I mean, this is why we should not be responsible for what AI, and we should not be responsible for that decisions, and it should be always like corrected by doctors. But what I'm always having this in my mind, that whenever we will be relying on that kind of applications at home, is that the patient will be responsible for that. So that's why I don't think that it's needed to read between the lines. I think people should be even more honest with the chat GPT or any other app, because I think this is this human factor, why people are lying, because they are afraid that we as humans will judge them. So I think maybe we will not need this to read between the lines, because patients would be like more honest with phones or apps.
Okay, sorry, enough topic. What I wanted to comment on is that we have been using for quite some time in the medical laboratories equipments that read on their own the products and do diagnosis, but they're reading themselves, and then just the doctor or the bacteriologist or hematologist that will come and confirm only the cases that are having anything strange. So not every one of the plaques are red right now. Okay? So this has been done, I believe, for quite some time. And I feel like AI in the diagnosis with patients will be the same. We will have cases, similar cases, and then something that stands out as a red flag will be sent to a human. Do you think it will be similar?
Exactly right. AI is just another tool at our disposal, the same as our automated analyzers of blood or vehicles or, I don't know, devices that we use during surgery, or even the surgical robe, right? It can also more function in theory, it just rarely happens, and we kind of take it on ourselves and say, this is our responsibility, I choose to use this machine, I am aware of its limitations, but I know it's also its benefits, and I'm choosing the benefits over the doubts or the possibility of more function.
We keep saying that maybe in the future we'll have 99% of the common cases done by AI and then 1% by doctors. In future education, how will doctors get the practice that we need to be able to solve the 1% of cases? Like, how do you expect that to happen? Because from what I'm learning right now, we need practice to be able to solve harder cases and be able to deal with the cases we get every day. So what's the expectation for education in future?
Maybe you'll wake up in the morning, put your VR goggles on your eyes and start to practice. It's still happening, right?
You also asked about how to get this 1% of cases. Like if we develop the AI technology that will be able to say I don't know, then it will redirect the case to humans, right? Or we can simply take all the cases that are below some threshold of certainty. for AI to make a diagnosis. So initially it might be like 50% of the cases, then 40, then 30, and so on. Yes, and this 1%, let's say theoretical 1%, will be handled by humans. And yes, this is just these edge cases, and maybe this will also solve the, as a compromise between humans and AI, this 1%, it will solve the healthcare problem that healthcare is overwhelmed with patients. You have to wait for the diagnosis. You have to. There are long queues for treatment. So the idea is to solve it through AI, and maybe 1% will be enough.
And hopefully we'll have time to focus on these patients, and we would rely on the AI apps, and it would be easier to diagnose these tough cases.
Thank you so much.
OpenAI is supposedly working on the next smartphone, next device. So I wonder what that is. Elon Musk is working on the brain chip, nobody knows actually what OpenAI is working on. I think that yes, maybe they are working on VR actually. Yes. With some earpods here, with a small camera here, with some display here. I don't know.
Thank you so much. I'm sure we can all agree this has been a really interesting conversation. We are pressed for time, so if anyone has any last question or remarks that they want to make. Oh, yes.
So there's a lot of focus on the 1% of cases, 99% would be diagnosed by the AI. But do you think that would affect the critical thinking skills of doctors maybe? Or will it enhance them?
I think it would definitely help us if our thoughts or our ideas would be based on the evidence-based medicine, which I believe will be provided by AI. It would help us to make proper decisions, and I think that would be beneficial both for us and both for patients, because we will be more experienced after every case, which would be, I think it would be beneficial for us.
Yes, fully agree. It will definitely enhance the capabilities of humans. Also because of AI, right? We will have more access to much better and better tools, better and better data, and very in a rapid manner. So now the thing is about the costs. Yes, how costly it will be in terms of the infrastructure, for example, and where all this computing power will take place. So this is also a very important topic. I don't know. Do you know how many GPUs do you have here at the Gdańsk University of Technology? Like the AI servers? How many? A100, H100? Nobody knows. Yes. So I think that also we should start from that. Yes, because if Gdańsk University of Technology wants to be the AI medical tech hub in Poland, then this is like the mandatory stuff. Yes, AI infrastructure. Otherwise, it will not happen here. It will happen somewhere else, but not here.
Okay, so just sorry, over behind.
I know we have very much time. I will make this quick. This is for me. We are very interested in how to step into AI and learn about it. Coding is like a very far-fetched thing, so maybe step by step. What would you think that the first step for us students should be towards the AI technology? Like, should we approach departments, or what exactly, and how should we take our first step towards this?
You mean
But it only has
You mean
information
that-
to 2021.
Well, the new one is searching to the entrance, but it's $20. Not that much.
Will the university pay for our extended access of
you mean in terms of like as a doctor or as a programmer? As a
medical student?
medical student.
Yeah, how should we take the first step towards what should we do? How should we approach this?
Yes, I've never thought about it.
I think it's quite the idea to purchase some copies of the chat for library computers. I think we'll be okay. It's okay.
Because
Yes.
the ChatGPT 4 has multiple capabilities that 3.5 doesn't have. You can upload documents to it, you can analyze code with it, as for instance Python or R or any other programming code. You can use the LE extension to create images for, I know, a conference. I created 20 images of different parts of the vowels with some, like artistic way of doing with ChatGPT. So it's a powerful tool. It would be nice to have it.
Okay, so if I can ask Mariam maybe for contact to establish, because it's a problem with library and computers, I think, so it would be necessary to buy both computers and ChatGPT. It's possible,
Sure.
I think.
Thank you. We'll follow up for sure.
Okay.
Yes. So I think that there's so much going on in the field of AI for healthcare that you need focus. Yes, you should rather select very specific area that is of interest to you, not go for all healthcare because it's too much. You will not make it. You have limited amount of time to remember, and you also have life for other things. So you have to really think very, very creatively on the focus. It's very hard to think of focus, and many companies go bankrupt because they lack focus. And once you have this idea for yourself, you go into that, yes, and you start reading papers on that very specific area, and this is how I would start. But now the question is what to do after reading the papers. Yes, you gain the knowledge. Now I would like to apply it. Now, where are the tools? Yes, where are the AI tools that I would like to use for diagnosis? Is it okay? Like how the patients will behave if I use these AI tools? Yes. Well, imagine a situation that a patient comes, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 years old, and you tell him or her that, well, based on my diagnosis and based on this AI app that I use every day, you are that and that. I don't know how the patients would react right now. I mean, there's a lot of talking of AI, on AI, but do the patients know it? I don't know how it will actually turn out.
If you want to learn about AI, just read some papers and reach some PhD students from our university who are currently working in that topic. And like I mentioned, in my clinic, there are at least 2 doctors who are conducting their studies on the topic. So if you're interested, feel free to come by and we'll guide you.
And also there are online courses, right? Like in EDX or that are available for free that you can just take and not get the certificate. And there's some solid knowledge. Organized in Stanford or so, it's nice.
Thank you so much. I think we can all agree that there's a lot left to be discussed in the field of AI and virtual reality. I think even more left to discuss in how we're going to integrate this into health sciences, and even more left to discuss in how to bring this into our education and equip our students to deal with these problems. With that being said, thank you so much for the discussion that we've had today. Thank you so much for I'm going to call our Vice Chair, Simran Kaur, to close off and do our final thanks.
Thank you, Maria. So we're co-hosters, and it was quite a nice experience to have you and other panelists as well. And it was really nice of Vyom and Hanif to be coordinating with them regularly and making sure that this panel happened today. We would also like to introduce formally our advisors, since all of them are present today in person. Dr. Stehalski, Dr. Agnieszka Janska, and of course Dr. Magdalena Antoszewska. And we are even more surprised and actually delighted that Professor Dean Ovchuk was able to appear at our fair today.
Nice.
And well, through the discussion, we also have a possibility of extending some services. So hopefully, we will. We might have some, tools to use in the future. But we'll see. But thank you for so much. We have a few tokens of appreciation for you. For the guests and.
Thank you very much.
So with that in mind, thank you so much for coming, and hopefully we are able to organize something similar in the future. The fair is still going on, so you can go on and enjoy the presentation.
Thank you for being here with us, and thank you for such a fruitful conversation.